cat lovers, Petra here from Cat Crazy. Do you like tarot cards? But have you ever had a tarot card deck with cats? Well then, watch my interview with Wendy Miller now, who just created the most beautiful atomic cat tarot card deck.
Hi Wendy! Thank you for being on our channel today.
I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So Wendy, tell me, how did you get into the card making business?
Well, it's kind of a long story, so everybody needs to get comfortable, grab a beverage. During the pandemic, a friend of mine who is a psychic medium, she talks to dead people, she gave me a deck of cards and she said, if you ever need to, get some guidance, ask a question and draw a card and your spirits will give you an answer. And I thought, oh, cool, thanks. And I had the deck of cards and I was on my daily walk and I thought, I'm not really the kind of person who gets major life advice from a bunch of disconnected voices. All of my major life advice comes from my gay best friends. And so I created an oracle deck called Ask Your Gay BFF that answers your questions in a very sassy and bitchy, hilarious, judgmental gay male voice.
Awesome.
And these answers are written with my friends and they're really funny. And, we had a lot of rules and they're kind of racy, but, no punching down. But it was really, really fun. And so I made like 10 decks and immediately sold all of them. And I made like 50 and immediately sold all of them. And then 100 and immediately sold all of them. And I thought, oh my God, this is a business. So I formed an LLC and I had 200 decks made. And then I sold none of them. And that's because I'd spent all my money on stock and no marketing, and I'd already sold to all of my friends. So I had no one else to reach out to.
Right.
And I had this box of cards just sitting in my workroom and I looked at them and I was like, God, what a failure, dang it. And I thought, what am I going to do with these things? And then I went, wait a minute. I have a friend who hosts fundraisers for the LA LGBT homeless youth program. Mm-hmm. Maybe I should donate some to him and then they could use it to raise money for their events. So I reached out and he said, absolutely. So I donated a bunch to him, a bunch to an organization called Trail Mixer, Howard Brown Health in Chicago. Everybody loved them. And I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do. I want to make crazy, funny, subversive stuff and use it to raise money for great nonprofits. And I thought, oh, did you?
No.
Go ahead. And so I thought, who do I want to help next? Cats. And so I created a deck called Ask Your Cat. And my girlfriend and I sneaked into CatCon and did a little focus group and everybody loved it. I'm like, okay, this is cool. So I made the Ask Your Cat cards and I decided to launch them on Kickstarter to reach a much bigger audience. And they were fully funded in 5 days. And I had no platform. I had no followers. I had no nothing. But I knew these were really, really funny. And long story short, which is already too late for that, I've been using them to raise money for Mission Meow, a wonderful organization. Mm-hmm. Trap King, also great, Kitten Rescue LA. I've been invited to CatCon. I've been invited to the Cat Show in Cleveland. I mean, I'm cat people now, and I love it. And so I wanted to think, what do I want to do for my next deck? I still want to be in the cat world because I love cats. Yes. And so I decided to create a tarot deck based on cats and mid-century modern atomic design. There you go. Because those are my obsessions. And months and months and months of work went into this and it's finally ready and we're launching it on Kickstarter on May 13th.
May 13th. Okay, that is good. So everybody, watch out for that. So I just love it. I just got it from you and oh my God, atomic cats. Okay, so mid-century modern, I'm a big fan. So what inspired you to do that? Like atomic cats?
Well, I wanted to really stay into my authentic world. Mm-hmm. It's like oftentimes, and I used to be a TV marketing executive. And so all of my creative was for someone else's deal memo, someone else's point of view. And now that I'm my own company, I want to create things that are authentic to me and things that I love. And I thought, well, if I just combine all the things I love, which is tarot, and I'm learning so much about that, and cats, and mid-century modern atomic design, I'll love it. And so that's kind of what I did. I just decided to take all the things that I love that I think are groovy and to put them into one deck. And it was months and months and months of work. I tried to do all the design myself and I wasn't really talented enough. So I had to work with an artist and 6-7 months back and forth because I gave her the most annoying, creative brief you can imagine, and lots of corrections, lots of additions. I said, I want a Noguchi table here, I want a Wegener chair here, I want a Herman Miller bench here, I want these designs, I want this, I want that, and it's all in there. And it's like if you could open up your brain and say, what are all my favorite things? And then put it into into a piece of art. That's what this is.
Yes, that's fantastic. So like you said that lots of cat people are also into tarot cards.
Mm-hmm.
I can attest to because I like tarot cards. So, and I love cats, of course. So why do you think that is?
I think in many ways, cats have a sort of a mystical quality, right? It's like we look at them and they really are magical beings.
Yes.
And I think people who are into tarot are much more open-minded when it comes to mystic arts. And so there's something about cats that there's like real kinship with us. And so I thought there was a really nice combination. And also I did a little research and I asked, a lot of my tarot friends and other tarot readers, like, what are your feelings about cats? And of course, everybody loves cats. And so it was just a really natural combination. I think people who are into the mystic arts and just into magic really love cats.
Yes, and do you like consult your own deck?
I do. In fact, the deck that you have, that's like version maybe number 7, and it's not the final version. There are 2 cards in there that have been replaced and a couple of others that I redesigned. But I've been working with a deck that's the same deck you have. And in my learning about tarot, and I still have a lot to learn, but I'm just absolutely loving it, I've decided to ask the deck certain questions. And one day I said to the deck, am I on the right path with this Atomic Tarot deck? Is this going to be great? And I pulled the Empress card. And I was like, whoa. And a couple weeks later, I was feeling insecure. Am I on the right path? Pulled the Empress card. Wow. And so the Empress is obviously stalking me. And also, there's just something about this. My deck, I'd never let anyone else touch it. It's very tied to me.
Yeah.
And I consult with it all the time. And it's been really accurate for the most part. And also just, tarot's not predictive, right? Tarot is all about tapping into your intuition and where you are in life. It's not, going to give you lottery numbers. Mm-hmm. And so learning the power of tarot and how I could tap into my own intuition while using the cards has been a really helpful tool for me. And this deck, for some reason, and maybe it's because it's so much of my love in there, it's been amazing for me and really, really prescient. And so I do use the deck. Yeah.
Yes, it's fantastic. I have really good experience with that too. I actually amazed a few of my friends when doing readings for them, right? And they were like, especially one person, my friend Daniel, he was like amazed with what I knew, which I didn't know. I think it's just the intuition that comes in. If you really open yourself up to this kind of thing, then it comes through, and it's you are the one who is selecting the card. It's not the card itself.
Right.
So
right.
That's what it is.
I gave my mother a reading, and she was mind blown. And again, I have so much to learn, but I gave my mother a reading, and my dad just passed away in September. And so we're still very mourning. And she hasn't, they were together for 70 years, and she really hasn't been able to get through this. Can you imagine being with someone for 70 years and then they're just gone?
Yeah.
And,
yes.
and so we used the cards, and I knew a little about where her headspace was, and I saw, like she was pulling cards, and I kind of saw what was happening there. And it was really telling a really beautiful story about survival and about moving on and about creating the new perfect life. And I think it actually was very comforting for her. And that was a wonderful gift I was able to give my mom. And so, yeah, they definitely... You pick up things from people. I'm an intuitive person. I'm pretty good at reading people most of the time. And so all of it combines for like a really interesting reading.
Yes. So you call yourself cat royalty. Why?
Yes, I am cat royalty. So when I was a little kid, I was in commercials. I grew up in Chicago, and I was discovered. And so I was in tons of commercials for Kellogg's and Sears and Montgomery Ward and like a million other things. And I did a commercial with Morris the cat for 9 Lives. And this is a kind of a cool fact, back before I did the commercial, they never showed humans. They would only show like a human hand, and you hear a woman's voice, Morris, time for din din, and the cat would come running across the screen because the cat was a star. Well, when I shot the commercial, they had me on camera, like sitting there, and I had dialogue. And so I'm the first person whose face and voice were ever heard in a Morris the cat commercial. And it ran for like 10 years. My husband remembered seeing it as a kid. So I'm basically cat royalty because I worked with the most famous cat in the world.
Wow, wonderful. That's great. Well, that's something to, put on somewhere in an award. So
yeah, somewhere.
Yes, absolutely. So do you have, obviously you're a cat lover. So do you have an all-time favorite cat?
I probably would pick I probably would pick a cartoon cat because I think that they're just so hilarious. In terms of like all of the cats of the world, I'm very smitten with tuxedos, and I love Tabby. I love them all, but I'd have to say, if I had to pick a favorite cat, it might actually be Sylvester from
Sylvester.
Yeah, so tragic, you know, but he just like keeps trying, and he's a tuxedo, and I love tuxedo cats. So, or maybe Snagglepuss, also very tragic. There's not, you know, it's like there's a lot of cats like in other cartoon cats that are together, but I really like the tragic one. So, if I had to pick a favorite cat, it might be a fictional cat. Sorry.
Yes, no, that's good. I like fictional cats too. I like cats. So
I could tell.
Yes, absolutely. So, okay, what is it that you do? That's my final question, actually. What is it that you do when you don't do tarot cards?
Well, I like to call myself an expiring writer, which is, my friend uses that term. She calls herself an expiring actress. I'm an expiring writer. I do actually work for a lot of big clients. So I write a lot of TV projects. I'm also working on another book, and I'm working on a Christmas movie right now. So while I'm not creating tarot cards, I'm either writing something for myself or someone else who actually pays me, because I don't pay myself. I'm the worst client ever. So yeah, I'm a TV writer and a comedy writer, and I'm also working on all sorts of creative projects. Yeah.
So Wendy, really quick.
Yes.
Catoscopes. You create horoscopes for cats. Tell me
I do.
about that.
Well, I guess because I'm in the world of tarot that my channel is open, and I've started creating what I like to call catoscopes. Of course, I have not purchased that, so somebody's probably buying that on GoDaddy right now. Whatever. But yes, I have some cat horoscopes for all of your followers, and I would love to share this week's catoscopes if you're open to it.
Absolutely. We're going to do that on Instagram, and I can't wait for that. So now one more last question. Where can people find you? Where can people go to Kickstarter? Where can they go to purchase this?
Okay, so starting May 13th, from May 13th to June 12th, that's the only time these will be available on Kickstarter. And so, yeah, May 13th, the first 24 hours, there's an early bird special. You save $5. And you just go to Kickstarter and look up Atomic Cat Tarot, and you'll find them there. And you can follow now, or you can just go, as soon as it's up and running, just go completely, go online and get your decks, as many as you want.
Perfect. I'm going to post a link. You have to send it to me. I'm going to post a link to the Kickstarter in the description box below the video. Well, Wendy, thank you so much. I mean, this was fantastic. I'm sure that many people will want to see your tarot card deck and get it. So I look forward to new card decks and other things that you are creating. And hopefully then you come back to our show and present your new things, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff we could do.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Wendy. And I hope to see you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay cat crazy.